Yes, with how fast this year has been going. So I don't mind seeing all the Halloween decor starting to pop up.
Right, and seeing that also lets us know sweater weather is here.
Right.
My favorite time of year.
That's being optimistic.
Yeah, we're getting away from that heat. The cold front yesterday, that kind of brought in a little bit more of those north winds, and that also brought in a little bit more tropical activity as well. Not necessarily any direct impact here in the coastal bend, but just taking a quick look at our tropical climatology graphic, which actually shows that tomorrow is technically the official peak of hurricane season. So we're kind of right on track of seeing more of these tropical systems in the Atlantic start to pop up. Here's a look at Francine, the big talk of the town today, really going to be the talk this upcoming week here for us. 65-mile-per-hour sustained winds in the Gulf, and there are two other waves just behind it. This medium chance of development, 60%. That's going to be our tropical wave index 92, and just behind that, a 70% also with another high chance of development over these next 7 days. So definitely going to be something to continue to monitor here in the tropics, the Atlantic, over the next few days. But really, Francine, that's the big story that we're going to pay a close eye on to, especially heading into our overnight hours. Going to be moving up into a Category 1 hurricane as we see by midnight, 75-mile-per-hour winds expected then. And even as it continues to move over these warm Gulf waters, as it makes landfall in Louisiana, that's when it's expected to increase even more into a Category 2 hurricane. Now, while us here in the coastal bend, not necessarily out of the dry with that direct impact, still going to expect some of those outer bands with Francine, and that's what's more so driving the impacts that we've already started to see today that will continue tonight into tomorrow and Wednesday as well. And a lot of these impacts kind of determine upon the movement of the forecast cone. We started to notice yesterday a lot of the cone hanging a little bit closer to us. That's how we saw a little bit more of those rain totals a little bit higher as well here in the coastal bend. But as of today, more of those cone movements hang on a little bit further east, and that's why rain has gone down a little bit more here for us, as well as some of those flood risk as well. As far as wave height, that's kind of still on the higher side. Really expecting overnight into tomorrow, seeing those waves increase to about 8 to 12 feet as we head into tomorrow and Wednesday morning. Those are going to kind of be more of the weather impact alert days that we're really going to be focusing on as Francine tracks offshore for us. But as we head into Wednesday evening, into Wednesday night, that's when we start to notice our waters calm down just a little bit more, still around that 6 feet margin, and really getting a little bit lower as we end the week off into Friday, falling at about that 1 to 2 feet for our wave height. Still expecting peach surge forecast around that 1 to 3 feet margin for us. So once again, surge is definitely a thing that we're going to continue to pay attention to, as that can be very dangerous. A lot more hazardous conditions for you on the water. Tonight, flood risk still on the board for most of our areas to the south of Corpus Christi. Heading into tomorrow, that marginal risk more so for our coastal areas, Corpus Christi still included in that. And moving into Wednesday, that's when we see a lot more of these risks start to shift further closer for our friends into Louisiana. Heading into overnight, going to really start to notice temperatures still sitting at about the mid 70s. Tomorrow, going to notice upper 80s still expected, low 90s moving into the weekend, and start to notice more rain on the board here for us. Going to have more 3 News for you coming up here next.